Hey, movie lovers, this is Leo.
Mike.
And Kevin from Films and Fermentation.
If you love comedy, movies, and a good drink in hand, then you need to check out the Podnation Media Network.
It's home to a variety of amazing podcasts covering everything from pulp culture to history and, of course, movies like ours.
And the best part, Podnation Media Network is featured on Roku, so you can stream your favorite podcasts anytime.
Alongside Films and Fermentation, you'll find other fantastic shows like the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Real Sharks, and so many more.
So grab a drink, press play, and join the fun with Podnation Media Network.
Because everything's better with a little comedy, movies, and booze.
Learn more by going to linktree.com/PodNationPods.
Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation with films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libation. Films and fermentation with Leo, Kevman, and Mike.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Films and Fermentation. Thank you for joining us tonight for episode 194. That's right. We are slowly climbing the mountain towards episode 200. Stay tuned. We got something special planned for that. But tonight we are talking about AI in film. We're calling this one Cinema, Sips, and Sentience. That's right. We are Films and Fermentation, movie and alcohol podcast, number one pop culture podcast on Good Pods, and the number one beer podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. In this episode, the only thing more artificial than some movie plots is the intelligence we're talking about today. In this episode, Cinema, Sips, and Sentience, we're diving into the wild world of AI in film. From charming robo-buddies to machines that definitely skipped their empathy update. We'll explore what happens when circuits meet cinema and why giving robots feelings always seems to end in disaster. So charge your batteries, pour yourself something stronger than motor oil, and prepare to question your toaster oven's motives. Just remember, if your Amazon Alexa starts taking notes,
AI.
as I'm reading,
A single.
keeps cutting off a little bit there, Mike.
Yeah, I see that.
As I was reading the intro, I'm sitting here going, how come I can't see this so well? It's like so hard to read right now. And it's because I forgot to enhance my screen so I can actually see the words. Could have used an AI.
Getting old. Getting old.
I'm getting old. I have glasses on. I still couldn't see the screen.
Wow.
Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family because you can now watch us on the Podnation Media Network on Roku. Visit the Films and Fermentation Substack to subscribe to our official newsletter. And Kev, it's funny. You always make a joke about how we finally have a website.
Yes.
And when I re-listened to episode 50 earlier today, that joke came up in that episode. We are
about time.
144 episodes later. We're still making that joke.
Yeah, that's
Never gets old.
We are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members only content. That's right. For a $1 donation, we'll help you create a woman out of thin air using 1980s computer technology and bras on our heads. That is a weird science reference for anybody who has no idea what I'm talking about.
Not that we do that on our own anyway.
Yeah. Go to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation or purchase our merchandise at teespring.com or text us at 904-867-4466. We're still gathering info for our mailbag episode that we're hoping to do at some point. So please send us any comments, any suggestions, any drinks we should try, movies we should talk about, questions you have, whatever it might be. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and download our episodes. It's the best way to get us a little more known out there and get our algorithms up and all that stuff. So please like, subscribe, review, rate us, all that stuff.
Get
What are
those
we
AI
drinking?
on us.
Yeah, get that AI helping us out. What are we drinking tonight?
I'll go first.
Go for
I
it.
am sifting through my liquor cabinet. Found my trusty, reliable Bombay Sapphire, a little tonic water, and a squeeze of lime.
Sounds good. I always love the Bombay. Mike, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going through my fridge of beer, and I found myself a Devil's Backbone Old Fest Lager.
Nice. And I decided that after last week's debacle, I needed something a little easier than the overproof rum. And so we got dinner from Chick-fil-A tonight. So I got a lemonade, which, as you can see, like their larges are pretty large. And I didn't want my lemonade to go to waste, so I just grabbed a jar of strawberry moonshine and added a little splash to my my lemonade.
I was going to say, is that one of the Chick-fil-A special menus? You know, would you like the Jack Daniels lemonade, sir?
Yes, Chick-fil-A strawberry moonshine and Chick-fil-A lemonade. Chick-fil-A, not a sponsor of Films of Fermentation. All right.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
All right.
In 1958, Vertigo, American film noir psychological thriller, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak, is released.
One of
Best
Alfred
version
Hitchcock's
of
best.
High Anxiety I've ever seen.
Yeah, High Anxiety. It's just an adaptation of High Anxiety. It is one of Hitchcock's best films. It's an amazing film. I love Hitchcock films. I saw something about this earlier today, so it's funny that this is on here now. Go ahead.
Also in 1958, classic Hammer horror film Dracula, film starring Christopher Lee as the infamous vampire alongside Peter Cushing, directed by Terrence Fisher, is released.
So these Dracula films must have all been like kind of released around the same time in the years that they came out, because one of the follow-up films came out this week as well, like in the 60s. It was called like The Blood of Dracula or something, and that also starred Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. This is a good one.
1963, the first James Bond film, Dr. No, starring Sean Connery, premieres in the U.S.
It's spelled N-O, not K-N-O-W. I know what our listeners are thinking. I just wanted to clarify.
I was going to say, so technically the first James Bond film was Casino Royale, starring Peter Sellers. It was a comedic take on the James Bond spy story.
Right.
Not technically canon James Bond, though.
No. Not even close.
Oh, this is a great one.
In 1989, national release of Field of Dreams, a sports fantasy drama film based on W.P. Kinsella's novel Shoeless Joe, starring Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta, and Burt Lancaster in his final film role.
Is this heaven?
This is Iowa.
Well,
Could have sworn it was heaven. Everybody wanted to come here. Ty Cobb wanted to play, but none of us could like to get son of a bitch when he was alive, so we told him to stick it. I hope we're still doing the podcast in 2029 so we can do the 40th anniversary of Field of Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next one you got there, Mike.
1997. 1997 science fiction film The Fifth Element, written and directed by Luke Benson, starring Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich,
Jovovich.
is released. Then the most expensive European film ever made.
Multipass.
I think if The Fifth Element had done better in the box office than it actually did, it could have become a franchise.
Yeah.
I really like the movie. I think
I like the movie too. I thought it was really well done, and
I think Mila Jovovich is awesome in it. She's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think, obviously the most unbelievable part is Tiny Lister as the president. Next one you got there, sir.
In 2004, TV sitcom Friends airs season finale in 10th and final season in the U.S. 52.5 million.
You would think it hadn't ended the way people still watch reruns of the show.
I don't know whether it's true for Friends. I knew I had heard at one point that there is always an episode of Seinfeld playing somewhere on some station. And I don't know if that's the same for Friends. It seems like it should be.
I don't doubt it. I know at any given time of the day, you can turn on TBS. What's that, Mike?
It's probably the same for NCIS right now.
or like Law and Order.
Yeah.
I was going to say, at any given time of the day, you can turn TBS on and Big Bang Theory is playing.
That's true.
The next one you got, Mike?
In 2007, Shrek the Third, directed by Chris Miller and Raman Hu, with voices by Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, and Eddie Murphy, premiere in Westwood, California.
And now we got another Shrek
call me a
movie.
noble steed.
There's another Shrek movie on the horizon now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Zendaya voicing his daughter in the film or something. Talk about a franchise that had too many movies.
2011, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, directed by Rob Marshall, starring Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz, premieres in opening weekend, makes $350.6 million.
That wasn't the last one, though, right? That was the fourth one.
I think that's the fourth one.
And then there was Dead Men Tell No Tales, or there was one with Blackbeard.
Yeah, I think that's the last one.
This is I think the one with Penelope Cruz was the one with Blackbeard. I think. Oh no,
I know there were two. I only saw the first three.
Yeah, I stopped after the trilogy.
Yeah, and so I know there were two after that. I just couldn't tell you which one was first, which one was.
And
last,
honestly, the second one wasn't that bad.
No,
I like the introduction of Davy Jones and the Flying Dutchman and everything, but kind of lost its luster following that.
The third one just went off the rails. It was so out of control, that movie. The first one was great. I love the first one, but I was I think it just kind of got too much after a while.
I had heard backstory as to how Johnny Depp's, what was his character? Captain Jack Sparrow lost the Black Pearl, right? And it's an excellent backstory that really needed to be told to kind of make him a sympathetic anti-hero, because it's like, I think one of the things he was shipping or something was like slaves, and he just was like against it, and that causes the whole thing to spiral out of control, where he loses the Dutchman and gets stranded on the island, and the curse that happens upon them. I'll have to see if I can find it and send it to you. It was a really good backstory for that character. That would be a good
like prequel film if you can get like an actor who could play a young Jack Sparrow as well as Johnny Depp played the character. I guess it'll be Chalamet.
Awesome.
And what's the last one you got there, Mike?
In 2023, Disney's live action film musical The Little Mermaid, starring Halle Berry and Melissa McCarthy, directed by Rob Marshall, premieres in the U.S.
And absolutely no one had a problem with it.
Wasn't Halle Berry? I think it was Halle Bailey, right?
Halle Bailey, yeah.
Just wanted to make
Halle-
sure because Halle
Halle
Berry
Berry
a
was
little older.
Oh
I'm
man,
sorry.
there was backlash
I
about
just
that little
misread it.
girl being cast. You imagine if Halle Berry was a cast?
She's so old.
We
You
got
know what
some
happens to a
interesting
toad when there's lightning outside?
same thing that happens to everything else. That's the line she gives to Ursula at the end of the movie. Let's go on to some beer news because I'm interested in what we got going on here tonight.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer with Kevin.
Man, you know me. What are my two favorite foods and drinks?
Beer and donuts.
Beer and donuts. That's
Yep.
right. And due to
You're just like Homer Simpson.
just like Homer Simpson.
You're a Dunkin'
Due
man.
to unforeseen, unavoidable circumstances, I guess we'll say, Americans are nervous about the economy and they're cutting back on beer and donuts.
Mm.
Yeah, consumers seem to be cutting back on certain vices, with large beer and donut companies lowering their revenue outlooks for the rest of the year. Blaming macroeconomic pressures and weaker consumer demand, the Molson Coors Beverage Company said it expects its 2025 earnings to be in the low single digits rather than the high single digits, as beer sales are down by 9% in the United States and 8% internationally. Molson Coors stock prices have fallen 2.5% over the past year. In addition, on Thursday, May 8th, Krispy Kreme reported a revenue decline in the U.S. of nearly $60 million, or 20% compared to 2024. Why are beer sales down? Well, it's a statement about the company. In a statement on the company's website, Molson Coors president and CEO Gavin Hattersley cited economic headwinds. The global macroeconomic environment is volatile. Volatile, gentlemen. Uncertainty around the effects of geopolitical events and global trade policy, including the impacts on growth, economic growth, consumer confidence, and expectations around inflation and currencies, has pressured the beer industry and consumption trends. What is Molson Coors doing to combat the drop in beer sales? Molson Coors, which makes Coors Light and Miller Lite, noted that the loss of its contract with Pabst was another reason revenue was down. More drinkers are also turning to now to spirits, canned drinks, and non-alcoholic beverages. As a result, Molson Coors is adding its mix of brands. We made a significant step forward in our premiumization initiatives and added meaningful scale to our non-alcoholic operations with our exclusive U.S. partnership with Fever Tree, the world's leader of premium carbonated mixers. Fever Tree joins other brands such as Peroni and Madri under the Molson Coors name. What about the donuts, though? That's the important one. Krispy Kreme primarily attributed the sale to a big steak and Insomnia cookies to its revenue reduction. Hey, Insomnia cookies are pretty good, too. The donut maker also said that it's reassessing its deployment schedule of Krispy Kreme availability at McDonald's restaurants. Krispy Kreme and its famous glazed donuts are currently available at more than 2,400 locations. The donut company said it will not try to launch into any additional McDonald's locations in the months ahead in 2025. Just last week, McDonald's revealed that its sales dropped to their lowest level since 2020 at the beginning of 2025. The company's CEO cited economic uncertainty and geopolitical tension as results of the decline in business. CNN reported that customers visit McDonald's in the United States has declined more than expected in 2025. For the second quarter, Krispy Kreme expects overall revenue to range from $370 million to $385 million, and the Wall Street Journal is reporting that analysts previously predicted the figure to be closer to $394 million. So, gentlemen, stock up on that beer. I'd say stock up on that donuts, but their shelf life is, temperamental at best. I'm not a huge Krispy Kreme fan. I'm not going to turn my nose up at any donut, but
shame on you.
No.
I'm an Entenmann's donut guy.
Oh man, Entenmann's do not get enough love, Especially it's a dark chocolate that they put on their donuts, and it's more of a cake than it is.
And if you want to save money, you just go to Wawa because they always have Entenmann's on sale, like 2 for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it, man. We had a slow beer news week, didn't we?
Yeah. Not much brewing that I thought we'd be interested in.
So I originally had a movie update segment here, but I decided to skip it tonight because it wasn't really much going on other than the Cardinals in the conclave were shown the movie Conclave in preparation for their vote. And I was thinking to myself, it's an interesting way of bringing them in, but at the same time, Conclave, the movie, is not exactly accurate. But that's all I had this week. So, Mike, do you have any must-try beer or craft destinations for us?
I do. So we're going this.
So you're doing a lot of editing just now while Kevin was reading his beer news. Like were you taking out all the extra vowels?
Yeah, I was. So we're doing a dark beer tonight, guys.
Okay.
This is from Port Brewing. Lost Abbey's brewmaster Tomé Arthur has released 10 Commandments, a Belgian-style dark farmhouse ale brewed with raisins, fresh rosemary, and honey, and finished with wild yeast for added complexity. This mocha garnet ale, inspired by Belgian beers, offers rich notes of banana and fig with full-bodied rustic texture at 9% alcohol by volume. It's packaged in 750 milliliter corked bottles and released annually in limited quantities, 280 cases, during the brewery's anniversary. Port Brewing, founded in 2006, is known for award-winning American ales and Belgian-inspired Lost Abbey line, celebrated for their bold flavors.
I like Lost Abbey.
I haven't had this one, but
I haven't had this one. I don't think I would pick this one of my own, on my own, but I would try it. I'd try a sip or a taster. I'm not big on raisins, not in my beer, not on my cinnamon bread, nothing.
I'm not a fan of raisins either, so I don't know if I would like the flavor or not. I'm looking at it on Untapped. I was looking it up as Mike was reading it, and it's got a 3.85 average user score on it out of 5 stars. So it's not like, low, but it's not like all the way up there either.
Right.
You gotta be in the mood for something strong.
Like I said, I need a taster, a little less than an ounce.
It's the first of the dark beers, 1,001 beers you must try. So
okay. I like dark beer, so I'm wondering if there are going to be a few in there that I have had before, but I don't know. All right, so we're moving on to our main segment for this evening. We're talking about AI in films, which is why we titled it Cinema Sips and Sentience. So we're looking at the Ranker.com list for this. So this is Ranker's list of the top movies involving AI. We were looking at this a little bit earlier, and it's there's some movies on here that I seriously question whether or not they are AI films. But before we get into the list, before we get into the list, I have a special video I want to show. Kevin's seen this already. Mike has not seen this yet. I was saving it for the show because I knew Mike would find this terrifying. Scientists, I believe it says in Japan or something, we'll see when I put the video up, have developed a liquid robot like the T-1000.
Look at Skynet.
Here's the video.
It can change shape, grab things, fall from small heights, divide and merge, all without collapsing or leaking. The team tested it on a little mission, where it collected a dangerous material, neutralized it, and brought it to safety, as we can see in this video.
It's a little tiny liquid robot.
It reminds me of those videos you used to see on Sesame Street where I'm just a tiny little guy, you know? And it's
Like
obviously stop motion, but
I'm hoping that's what it is, and that it's not actually in development right now. It's scary.
I was waiting for the little sword arm to come up, you know.
Yeah. For him to like walk through the bars and get stuck.
Face.
Well, the only way to stop it though is just you got to throw it into like some liquid magma.
Liquid hot magma.
So, Kev, this was your topic, so why don't you go ahead and take the reins on this, my friend?
All right, there's a lot of AI out there, gentlemen. It's long captured the imagination of filmmakers and audiences alike, and it's given rise to some of cinema's most memorable and profound stories. These movies delve into ethical quandaries, technological potential, and the very nature of humanity itself. From science fiction thrillers to contemplative dramas, the best artificial intelligence movies offer provocative insight and captivating narratives for a wide range of film enthusiasts. We're going to ranker.com to take a look at their 60 plus best artificial intelligence movies. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. You're right, I look like Coach Beard in that.
That's not the one I sent you earlier either. That's the one Mike made.
That makes me look like Coach Beard from Ted Lasso.
Cyborg Coach Beard in that photo.
All right. We go through these, gentlemen. We all have the list brought up on our screens.
I have mine.
So I have to admit to not having seen this first one. I have heard good things. I know it has. It's not Randy Quaid. Come on,
Jack Quaid.
It's Jack Quaid. Thank you very much. Yeah. Jack Quaid, Sophie Thatcher, and Lucas Cage. This movie came out in 2024. Nope, 2025. My bad. Directed by Drew Hancock. This is a weekend getaway at a remote cabin turns to chaos when it's revealed that one of its guests, a subservient android built for human companionship, has gone haywire. This is called.
What do you have?
What's that?
I don't have that one.
Companion is done. I have number one.
Companion.
I have Ex Machina.
Oh, I have to refresh my page then. Somebody voted it down.
Oh,
refresh the page here. I'm still seeing. I'm still seeing Companion on mine. Let's see.
No, you're right. Ex Machina has made it to number one.
There it is. I feel like Ex Machina should be number one.
Okay. All right.
So I was going to say with the first one. So yeah, originally when we looked at this list, Companion was number one.
Yeah.
Which I found surprising because it's a really recent film. Recent enough that even I haven't seen it yet.
Companion's not even in me right now.
All right, so we're going to redo this now. Okay. Number one.
All right, well, number one is let me scroll back up. All right, number one is Ex Machina, featuring Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, and Alicia Vikander, and this is a story of it is a computer programmer who develops an artificial intelligent android and invites one of his employees who, quote unquote, wins a special trip out to his estate, I'll say. And the whole purpose of the competition or the visit is to interact with the artificial intelligence to see how close they can get together, what kind of empathy and apathy or empathy and emotions they share together. It's a really good movie.
Frightening ending.
The ending is kind of Uh,
downer.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
real
a
downer.
bit.
Although I can't blame Donald Gleason for falling in love with Alicia Vikander.
No. Those of you unfamiliar, she played the Lara Croft in the reboot of the Tomb Raider movie, I should say.
Yes, and she's gorgeous. She's and it's even in her robot form, she's gorgeous.
And the special effects in this were amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I would vote this one up. I would keep it at number one. I think it's a good example of like the AI going wrong. And it's probably because it is a descendant of the next film.
I need to close.
To handle that one.
It was Mike playing the soundbite there from the film.
Mike, you got the soundbite, you got the coverage. Talk to us about
it. All righty, we're going with I'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fucking Skynet. The original Terminator.
Fucking Skynet. Yeah, man, this movie's fucking slaps. I love this movie.
It's gonna fucking kill us all.
It's amazing.
To me, it's the best of all the Terminator movies.
Okay, you don't think like Terminator 2 is a better film, or?
I always like the originals because they change this. Don't get me wrong, I like Terminator 2. I think it's a great film. But when you change your main villain to the good guy,
but that's how you sell the toys.
Here's what I'm going to say about Terminator 2. It had better dialogue, not a better story, better dialogue. The first movie, amazing movie, great premise. It was very stale.
Yeah.
Between the interaction between Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese and the Terminator, like the hip new language and the interaction between the Terminator and the boy. I think that dialogue that developed more emotion and more connection to the characters in the second one than the first one. But the first one, better premise, better story,
very original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it should have stopped the Terminator 2 because it's the last one that James Cameron was involved in, and you can tell, because he created the story, he created the character, he had love for it, whereas other directors were just it was like a cash grab. Yeah. And like I love Terminator and I love Terminator 2. I think as a 2-film franchise, it's perfect. and that's number 3 on the list, Terminator 2. So I think I like the top 3. I think are pretty good so far.
Yep.
So we go to number 4 there.
Okay, number 4 is The Matrix, coming out in 1999.
Not your spirit. Sing whatever you want. You take the red pill.
Living in the Matrix right now, it seems like.
I know. This is also an original story. This is also pretty basic. Not basic. This is also pretty new. The idea of us living in a computer construct.
And you've before you saw this in the theater, right?
I did. I thought this was amazing. This was done in 1999. It had the Wachowskis, grabbing the reins. This was their story. It is Keanu Reeves is Thomas Anderson in The Matrix, but in real life, he's Neo. He is a computer wizard, if you will, hacker at the time. And it was going in and out of the Matrix, trying to free minds of humans who are being harvested for the purpose of just creating energy and electricity for the machines to run on. And I really liked the movie. and I really liked the Enter the Animatrix follow-up, which kind of gave us that backstory as to how things went. You know, when did it turn, and you know what happened between the machines and the people.
It was a really cool video game for the Matrix as well.
Yes,
it was. I think it was like a PS2 game, maybe, or PlayStation 1. But
it was Enter the Matrix. Maybe I'm getting the titles mixed up.
Animatrix was the movie, yeah,
right, and that had little, you know, vignettes,
and that was a really good animated film. Yeah,
it kind of gave us that, and that gave us a tide between the first movie and the second movie. You know, like the things that had happened in the actual, you know, real world.
So we got an update here. I threw an upvote on The Matrix, and it is now third place above T2.
Wow.
I was when I was scrolling through this the other day, I was like, "Oh man, why is this not on the list?" And I realized like I just really wasn't paying a lot of attention to it because number 5 is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I originally didn't think I saw it on the list, and I was like, "Where the fuck is this at?" Like,
you want to cover it?
I'm gonna take this one, man. I'm gonna take this one. This is the
hit it.
Yeah, here you go, Mike. Here you go. You got HAL 9000. Like this is. So if Metropolis was like the original silent sci-fi film about robots and all that stuff, like this is really, to me, the first film about an AI run amok. This is 1968 Stanley Kubrick, 2001: A Space Odyssey. A group of astronauts on a mission to I think it's Saturn, I want to say, or Jupiter, and the computer that runs the ship, HAL 9000, has a meltdown and takes over and kills some of the crew, and it's like the first instance of AI gone wrong. You know, the whole I'm scared, Dave. What are you doing, Dave? You know.
I had to watch it, and then I had to watch it again to understand, was it HAL 9000 having a meltdown, or was it getting additional information from the black hole? Because I think they were going to investigate a black hole.
Yeah.
And it was losing it between the mission that was given to them and the mission that was coming from the black hole. And it was like losing it. But
it was like kind of becoming sentient in a way and turning. Yeah. And it was like trying to take over the mission. Yeah. Very creepy at the end when they, you know, finally defeat him and he's singing the Daisy song and his voice is trailing off at the end. Daisy, Daisy. And then that leads to number 6 on the list, which is almost exactly the same as 2001: A Space Odyssey. Why don't you take it, Kevin?
Exactly the same. Disney version. Hit it, Mike.
Like it.
Eva.
My favorite robot in the movie is the little one that cleans the floors. Mo.
The dustpan.
Mo. I'm debating whether or not I want to vote Wally up. I don't want it to take over 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I also feel like it deserves a vote. So I'm giving it a vote up.
Okay,
I give it a vote.
I'm going to leave it where it's at. It's a good movie, and trust me, I think they're adorable. But I'm going to leave it where it's at.
Oh, Mike and I voted it up, but it stayed at number 6. So it does say here it's also ranked number 2 in the best movies of 2008.
Oh, how about that?
I have to look at that list. I want to know what the best movie of 2008 was.
This one hit me. Oh man,
yeah, that's
talk
a good
about
one.
getting you in the feels.
Mm-hmm.
Should we let Mike have it because it's got his girl?
I've not seen this one yet.
Oh,
he has not seen it. Mike has not seen it. Mike, you need to see this. It's got your girl's voice in it, man.
Yeah,
I know.
And look, just for voice acting, she does an amazing job. This is. I'm sorry.
Perfect voice. She got the perfect voice for something like that, man.
Yes.
Like that sultry, you know,
little raspy. This is her starring Joaquin Phoenix, Amy Adams, and Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson's voice. And this is a Spike Jones joint. Wait, is it Spike Lee joint or Spike Jones joint? Spike Jones is anyway the director.
This is Spike Jones.
You don't get too many directors named Spike, so you can understand the confusion. This is Her. Not too far off future. There's a love story between Theodore Twombly, played by Joaquin Phoenix, who's a lonely writer, forms a deep emotional bond with his AI-powered operating system, voiced by Scarlett Johansson. Through nuanced character development and futuristic yet familiar settings, Her probes the complexities of relationship while raising poignant questions about the nature of consciousness and emotional attachment. Some of the scenes in this that just like blow my mind, where she obviously is into him as much as he's into her, and it's got to be intellectual because she's only a voice, you know. It's really there's no physical attraction at that point, but there's the want to be physical. So she hires somebody, right, to interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
And how that goes. And then just her living in her world with other operating systems who are also coming of consciousness and deciding that they have to move on. You know, it's not like an overthrow of humanity. It's just like, it's like a bad breakup. Not even a bad breakup. It's actually a good breakup. It's just tough to watch because you watch the relationship between Joaquin Phoenix and his operating system just disintegrate. It's really good, Mike. You should watch it.
So I had to refresh the page. I went to the list of films from 2008 because I wanted to know what number one was, and number one was The Dark Knight, so I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I came back, Kev, and refreshed the page, Her is no longer in the 7th spot. It has completely disappeared from the list.
Same thing happened with Companion.
I don't know what happened to it, but it is
taking
gone.
things off.
It should be where it is, but it is
Let me
gone.
refresh, because I still have it at 7.
I refreshed it, and 7 is now Aliens.
I'm voting it up. So,
Oh, Kev, you and I were talking about this earlier. Like, Alien is now ranked lower than Aliens on this list, and I think of the two, Alien, the first one,
Alien is more AI than
that
Aliens.
is more AI. Yeah. I mean, I love Aliens, but yeah, I think it's way more AI in the original film.
Yeah.
I think because the list is changing so much, we should kind of blowing through these a little bit and just kind of see like where we want to put things here.
Okay.
Number 8 is iRobot.
Not on my list, but okay, let's go.
No,
I'm downvoting that one. I hate this fucking movie.
My list is AI, artificial intelligence.
That's at
number 8.
That's at number 8.
Yeah.
I don't even see AI on my list. What are we all on the same different list, man? Everybody has the same link.
Me and Mike are on Ranker. You're on Spanker.
Yeah, I'm on Spanker. That's a different website. All right, I just refreshed the page, so let me see what we got here now. Yeah, so number 7 is Her.
There we go.
I'm going to upvote it so that it stays there. Number 8 is AI, artificial intelligence. When your movie is called Artificial Intelligence, it should be on a list called Artificial Intelligence films.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a really good movie.
I think it's a little low.
Mm-hmm.
It's Spielberg, 2001. This was actually a Stanley Kubrick film.
Yes.
And he died before he died before he can complete it and passed it on to Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of feel a little bit of the Kubrick in the film.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, I think the really good in this movie is Jude Law.
Jude Law's character is very good. Yeah. He's also a companion robot for people, and he gets framed for murder. Spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah.
I know the movie's not that old.
But his relationship with Haley Joel Osment's character in the film is fun, and I do think the film is a little long. It goes on for a little too long at the end.
Yeah.
But until that point, it's a good movie.
Yeah. The fact that a child is created, an artificial intelligent child, because of parents who are having difficulty with loss or lack of family, you know,
Right.
So now Alien is 9 and Aliens is 10.
And as Lou and I were discussing earlier, go ahead, Mike. Let's get what do you think?
I can see Alien on the list, but Aliens, I don't
Right.
see that be on the list.
Aliens is more of a combat movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it's really Marines versus the xenomorphs.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know that Bishop is a robot. It's an AI, but I mean, he's just a character with
Mhm.
morals. You know,
Yeah. He's not as he was more prominent in the first one.
You know, that was Ash in the first one.
Ash
Yeah.
first,
And
yeah.
well, Kevin and I were talking about this, Mike, when you took a little break earlier. The AI, an alien, is the ship itself, its mother,
Right.
computer, and to me, like that's more the AI element than Aliens. Aliens is more, like you said, Kev, it's an action film
Yeah.
Right.
more than anything else. And then that makes iRobot number 11, which is where I think it should be because I hate that movie. And number 12 is Bicentennial Man, a film that I think the two of you like a lot more than I do.
I do. I like this movie a lot.
I think it's a little long.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A little long, but I enjoyed the movie.
Mm-hmm. No, I like the idea, the premise.
Robot.
The premise that the servant, the robot servant that has some form of sentience, continues to grow, continues to want to grow, wants to be a part of a family, which is a huge thing of the movie, you know, and just develops, and he keeps evolving himself. I think, what's that?
He's an early Data. He wants to be human.
He is an early Data, and
It's
the
a
final
Pinocchio
thing is
story.
like he just wants to be recognized by humanity as a living thing, as not property, as a being,
And sentient.
Sentient being, where he's actually even looking for the approval of the courts.
So here's some fun trivia here. So this movie and iRobot are both based on stories written by Isaac Asimov, one of the greatest sci-fi writers of all time.
Right.
iRobot shares nothing with the novel that Asimov wrote except for the name. And Bicentennial Man is a short story, but is a 2.5 hour long movie. Little liberties with the original material, I think. Are either of you guys voting any of those up or down?
I voted Bicentennial Man up.
Yeah,
I voted iRobot down.
Just to get over iRobot.
Yeah. Number 13 is Blade Runner on my list. Is that on your list?
It is our well, yeah.
So here's the thing: the replicants exist. They are robots. I'm guessing they are sentient robots, but the sentience doesn't play a part in the movie per se, right?
For the most part, they don't know that they're replicants, other than Rucker Hauer's character, who obviously knows that he's has a limited lifespan. The other ones are like they don't always know that they're robots.
Okay.
Which is like where there's like that whole theory that Harrison Ford's character is a replicant as well, because he wouldn't know it. Now, I feel like there needs to be a distinction between like movies with robots and movies with AI. Because when I think AI, I think like computer systems and stuff.
Right.
So
when I think of AI, I think of a whole other life form.
Yes, it thinks for itself.
Right.
Yeah.
But it understands that it's different from humanity.
Yes.
You know?
I'm not going to vote Blade Runner up or down. I love the movie.
No, I'll leave it. It's a great movie. It's just
I'm not sure. Yeah. And it's odd because the next one's Westworld, which I feel like is kind of in that same vein as Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, the entertainment in the future is where you wanted to be a cowboy, right? So you go to these different worlds that are created by a company, and you interact with robots that are under the impression that I am a sheriff, or I am a outlaw, or whatever, and you are put into the fantasy, if you will.
Yeah, so it's not really sentient. It's just a robot in a program.
It's just a robot until something goes wrong, in which case, and then again, like you said, I would take it that the software is malfunction, not that it's sentient, not that it knows that it's a robot. It's just malfunctioning software where before there were safety measures that would keep guests from getting hurt. Now those are gone.
Agreed. Now, do you guys see RoboCop at 15?
I do.
Yeah.
Do you guys see what I see?
You see what I see? I love RoboCop. Love it. It is Robot Jesus. I love it.
But it's
I don't
not.
see the AI part of it.
No.
I don't see the AI part of it.
And he's got his humanity because he keeps having flashbacks of his wife and kid.
I mean,
Yes.
the closest to anything sort of
cyborg.
AI. Yeah, he's a cyborg. The closest to anything that was like AI or like robot run amok is the Ed 209.
Mm-hmm.
But even that's not like a think for itself kind of thing. It's a program.
Right.
So like I don't know how I love RoboCop. I don't see it on this list.
I think
The one below
the villain in RoboCop 2 was more AI than
well, even the villain in RoboCop 2 was a person whose body was replaced by the robot technology, which still had the brain of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the one below RoboCop should be higher on the list, I believe.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
How about global thermonuclear war?
Mike's got all the sound bites tonight. Look at that.
I'm telling you.
You got to have what's the other one? Do you want to play a game?
And there's
They didn't credit the speak and spell that they gave the role to play, the AI in this. And that's exactly what it sounds like to me is a speak and spell.
Speak and spell. You still love making that speak and spell say boobies. Boobies.
O-O-B-I-E. Boo.
So
I voted that one up.
I was going to vote it up too. I was going to say, Kev, since this stars your girl Ali Sheedy, did you want to take this one?
It did. She's no stranger to AI, as we're going to see in future moments here. And it also had Matthew Broderick, friend, and Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I voted War Games up as well.
I love this movie back in the day.
Yeah, I love War Games. I actually just watched it not too long ago. I think we had talked about it on it wasn't one of the films that Time Forgot, but we had kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
Because I think it had something to do with Dabney Coleman. Yeah, I think we were talking about him. And yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so I was like, I gotta watch War Games. It's been so long, and I watched it. And I'm like, yeah, it's old, it's dated, but man, it's still fun to watch. It still kind of holds up.
Sure.
A little bit, even though the technology is old. I think it could be. It's a movie like I hate reboots. I'm not a big reboot guy, but I think War Games is something that you could reboot
absolutely
very easily. Like make it with today's technology.
So if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to pair number 17 and number. Is it even on there? Well, I'll just tell you number 17, Tron and Tron Legacy.
Yeah,
the two Tron movies, and we know that there's a Tron series coming out in the near future. Where honestly, the I think Tron Legacy had more AI, a more AI based plot than the original Tron. Where the original Tron, the whole thing was getting put into the game, the users being placed into the program, surviving life as in the computer system, right? Trying to.
But the AI was the main bad guy.
Right. The master control, which was, talk to with David Warner. Those two were the he's on the outside giving communication, but then you see him as a program on the inside. Right. And I guess maybe it's the CGI or the special effects. Maybe it's just the idea that in Tron Legacy, Clue, which was created after Jeff Bridges' character to perfect the system, grows to say, I know what a perfect system looks like, and it means that we have to get rid of the humans, And the whole basis of Tron Legacy is Clue trying to come into the real world to eliminate humanity, you know? So that's why I guess I thought Tron Legacy probably met the AI standard a little bit better than Tron.
Boy, talk about a movie I haven't seen in a really long time.
Which
Tron.
one? Tron or Tron
The
Legacy?
first Tron, not Tron. I mean, that one is not that old. I've seen that recently, but like
Mm-hmm.
the original
First-
Tron, I haven't seen in a long time.
With Jeff Bridges and Bruce Boxleitner.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think at
And
this point,
they both come back for Tron Legacy, you know.
yes, they do. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think at this point we should just start scrolling through and seeing if there's anything that any of us want to point out.
20.
Okay, well, you guys know I'm going to point out one of them.
I know
No.
you're pointing out Short Circuit at number 20
Yes.
There was some, yep.
because I am pointing out Flight of the Navigator at number 19.
See, Flight of the Navigator. I do want to say AI, but I think it's more alien than I think it's artificial intelligence. Or
Yeah.
maybe the two go hand in hand. Love the movie.
Well, I mean-
one of my favorites as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
You know, especially he scans his brain and now he's got Pee Wee Herman's voice. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But if my mindset's in AI, I'm not quite sure. I
It's-
have to figure it out.
Johnny
Yeah.
5 live.
Yeah, some of these are like, you know, kind of like stretching
Mhm.
Yeah.
the definition of it. I think
That's
Short
why I
Circuit
wanted to
now-
point out Short Circuit. Go
I
ahead.
would point out Short Circuit. I voted it up. I feel like that's one that should be a little higher.
Mhm.
If you want to, you know, say
It's-
anything else about Short
You
Circuit,
know, it reminds me of the Michelangelo, you know, ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, where you see the lightning bolt between Adam and God. Johnny Five is struck with a lightning bolt, which opens his eyes to humanity, and then he becomes a sentient being. He is then alive. Johnny Five is alive.
I think you put more thought into that explanation than the writers of the film did. That was like Oscar level poignancy, man. Like it was like the hand of God touching Adam's finger. I was like,
I'm telling you, and
I felt a tear in the side of my eye.
his conduit is Ali Sheedy. She is the one giving him input. More input.
It's also another movie with Ali Sheedy. So
That's true.
Back
I
in the
guess
day.
you could also mention that Steve Gutenberg and Fisher Stevens are in it, but who needs them?
Alex Sheedy will make you come alive too. I'll tell you.
Kevman's alive. I don't know if there's anything else after that one that either of you guys want to like really point out. I'm
yes,
pointing out
Metropolis.
number 26, Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, okay.
Because there is an AI in that, and that AI is played by Ana de Armas, so give her some respect.
Yeah.
Hold on. I saw one. God damn it.
Some of the other ones, I mean, I feel Daryl, which is going to show up in the future, is one of my, movies that Time Forgot.
Yeah.
Kind of touches on it a bit.
Number 39, last time I saw on the list was 39, Weird Science. You can't miss that.
Yeah, like I'm going through here. Like there's a lot on here that are pretty good. Child's Play should not be on this list.
No.
Not at all.
I have number 34, Mike, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It has an AI in it.
It has the ship. The ship is an AI.
Yeah.
You also have Marvin. You have a robot that's sentient and thinks for itself.
But the movie
even
is really about the AIs, though.
I know, but there's AI in it. Maybe we should put that distinction down. Like, is this about movies about AI or is just some kind of AI in it?
Like Space Camp, there was an AI robot, but
yes, and that's on the list somewhere.
Right, that's number 38.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays its part, but the movie's really about the kids trapped in space and having to, come together and get the ship down.
What do you guys think about Free Guy?
I thought it was a fun movie.
I thought it was a fun movie on this list.
Yeah. I mean, it's a non-playable character that becomes aware that it's a non-playable character.
Mm-hmm.
Think of The Sims. If you had a Sims game and one of your Sims, family members or whatever realized what it was.
Like if that Sim really was feeling pain when you locked it in a room with no bathroom.
I'm looking at my list. Remember how I was going off on number 1 being Companion?
Yeah.
I just came across it. It's number 42.
It dropped.
It dropped big.
Space Camp is at 37. I'm voting that one up. Let's see what else we got here. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know if I would put that one on the list either.
I know there's like a robot or something in it. I haven't seen this one in a while, so
it's not my favorite of the two either.
No, or the three. I see the third one too. I want to see that movie Companion though. It's got a really good Rotten Tomato scores from both viewers
I've seen a
and
clip of
critics.
it, and I know what she is, and it's like, oh my god, and you feel for her, you empathize.
How about Hellboy 2's on here? Like, I don't think Hellboy.
Why?
I think they're talking about the army at the end, the Golden Army, but they're more an army controlled by one person than an army with AI.
Exactly.
I can't recall Simone.
Simone is Al Pacino.
Yeah.
And Evan
and
Rachel
it's like an overnight. It's an AI generated actress, and it becomes a sensation. And I guess maybe at that point, it's the ethical. Reading it, it's like, how do you treat it if it's sentient and it's like an actress, but it's a product of something? Do you have to give it respect? Do you have to worry about what movies you put it into, and how it's used at that point? It's a computer program, but it's a sentient computer program. But
all I know is she had a great ass.
She had a great ass.
Further down the list, number 49 is a movie called Dark Star. It is John Carpenter's first film, and it is kind of like if 2001: A Space Odyssey was a comedy. It's a very similar vein in that respect.
Number 55, The Black Hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that should probably be a little higher. Matrix Resurrections. I have not seen the fourth Matrix film yet. Have any of you?
I have.
How was it?
Yeah.
You can wait.
That's some high praise.
It wasn't terrible. It's just I think there had been too much time between. So it kind of lost its luster.
How about this one? Number 62, Avengers Age of Ultron.
That should definitely be higher.
That is definitely AI, yeah.
That could probably be a little higher. And Transformers.
We're here to protect your planet.
Yeah. I'm really low on the list now, and I'm not seeing too many things that are like sticking out to me. So
no, but something popped up that I definitely want to make sure I do watch. I think it should be streaming now. It's called The Creator.
Oh, I heard really good things about that.
Yeah.
It's Coleman Domingo is the star, I believe, and I've heard really good things about that. I haven't seen that one yet either.
Oh yeah, I wanted to catch that when that came around.
Yeah, I think
so I have to check that out.
Yeah, so I just refreshed the list, and right now, Ex Machina is still 1, Terminator is number 2, Matrix is 3, T2 is 4, 2001 is number 5, Wall-E is 6, Her is 7, AI is 8, Alien is 9, and Aliens is 10. So we made some changes tonight. I got AI to drop lower, so I'm happy about that. So there were a few movies that I didn't see on the list that I think should be at least given some mention. Megan, which is the recent horror film about the robot going awry, which is getting a sequel soon. Who put Runaway on the list?
I did.
Yeah, is that the one?
Oh, was that Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons is the villain.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it's
little spiders that chase people.
Yeah, and Tom Selleck is the one that hunts them down. If any of you are fans of anything that Sam Rockwell does, you should check out Moon. Moon is a sci-fi film in which Sam Rockwell is the only person in the movie playing against himself as a clone. And it's a really, really good film. And the AI there's an AI like computer that is basically his only companion in the film. There's a movie called Upgrade, which is about a guy that gets an AI implanted into his brain that takes over his body when he's in dangerous situations. And the last one I have here is a very, it's a really like amazing indie film with pretty good quality for an independent film. It's called The Artifice Girl. And
was it just me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So the last one I have here on the notable misses is a movie called Artifice Girl, which is a really cool indie film. It's a real thinker of a film. It's about a guy that develops an AI program. It's an avatar on the computer that looks like a 12-year-old girl, and it's designed to catch child predators online.
Mm-hmm.
And it works so well that the FBI hires the guy to work for them. And over the movie takes place over the course of 20 years. And eventually the computer starts to gain sentience, consciousness, and reaches a point where it has an ethical dilemma and an existential crisis, because it knows that what it's doing is good and saving people. But at the same time, it is now starting to suffer the after effects and PTSD of doing what it does.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's a real thinker of a movie. It's really good. So that's that. Yeah.
I was going to say you missed a couple on here. I mean, they're not movies, but they're definitely. You missed Data and Lore.
Data and Lore from Star Trek Next Generation.
Next Generation.
I also missed Small Wonder.
You missed Small Wonder. You missed Pinocchio.
You missed
What's more AI than Pinocchio?
And Pinocchio, he's the original AI.
I can say V'ger.
V'ger? Yeah, V'ger from the original Star Trek the motion picture. Yeah. I guess technically after the events of Solo, the Millennium Falcon's kind of an AI too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mike's like, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Solo.
No. Mike, you have any beer trivia or history for us this evening?
I do. Duke Wilhelm IV introduced the Bavarian Purity Law in 1516, which stated that only water, barley, and hops could be used to brew beer. At the time, the role of yeast was not yet understood. Prior to this regulation, brewers were using tree bark, crab legs, wild mushrooms, and often toxic herbs in beer. Since hops is a sulfuric, perhaps the idea was that hopped beer would be safer and less inebriating.
Not sure if that worked or not, but yeah, okay.
I don't think it worked either.
We got a cinema quote of the week.
Hollywood is like Picasso's bathroom. That comes from Candace Bergen, Murphy Brown herself,
and
Miss Congeniality, and other random shows. I don't know what she's trying to say there. I know what a Picasso looks like, and I know what a bathroom looks like, and I know what Hollywood is in my mind. I'm not making the connection.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. I might have to research that quote and find out what the hell she was talking about.
Yeah.
How are your drinks this evening?
As always, you can't go wrong with a devil's backbone.
Gin and tonics are the way to go.
And I have completely finished my Chick-fil-A lemonade with strawberry moonshine in it, and feel a lot better than I did last week after drinking the overproof rum.
Thank you, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight for episode 194, Cinema Sips and Sentience. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can shoot us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com. Visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation. Find all of our social media podcast links. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Rumble, or you can watch us on the Podnation Media Network on Roku, or subscribe to our newsletter on Substack. You can support us on Patreon, as I said. You can buy our merchandise at Teespring, or you can text us at 904-867-4466. Don't forget to like, review, subscribe, and download our episodes. And we're going to be doing a bonus episode release next time around, because we are not going to be recording a full episode for a while. The bonus episode release will be on famous movie posters. It'll be a video-only release, so it'll be on Rumble, YouTube, and on Roku on the Podnation Media Network. Our next full episode won't be dropping until May 27th, and that'll be episode 195. Topic to be announced at a later date. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
You beat me to it,
Denzel
Mike.
Washington.
Yeah, you beat it. That's Washington. You beat me to it. I was gonna say fucking Skynet. This has been the Films and Fermentation Podcast. Cheers, everybody.